Hey, thanks for that. A busy news day today. A disturbing number of COVID-19 cases coming to light at Thorncliffe Park Public School during testing of asymptomatic students and staff. 19 new cases discovered. 433 tests were conducted at the school on a voluntary basis on Thursday and Friday under a Ministry of Education pilot program, with 18 students and 1 staff member testing positive. 14 classes now being asked to isolate. But after a deep cleaning, the school will reopen this morning. Toronto Public Health doesn't believe the school has to close because compared to the rest of the Thorncliffe Park community, the rate of positivity within the school is significantly lower. Coming up on BT in about half an hour, we're going to speak with the co-chair of York Communities for Public Education about COVID-19 stigma in schools. Peel Police laying 29 charges after breaking up an Airbnb party in Mississauga. Our City News reporter Melissa Nicovelli spoke with police.
People at risk, as it takes a small number. It takes just one person at that party to be infected, and they may not even know it. And then you have hundreds more cases, and now we're in lockdown for longer, which is the opposite of what everybody wants.
Officers responded early yesterday morning to the area of 9th Line in Deepwood Heights for reports of a large gathering. Officials say 27 people, most of them in their 20s, were issued $880 fines for violating provincial rules aimed at reducing the spread of COVID-19. 2 individuals identified the hosts of the party were given a summons, which carries a possible fine of up to $10,000. 2 people were also charged with obstruction of justice after allegedly refusing to identify themselves to bylaw officers and police. Well, over 1,700 COVID-19 cases reported yesterday, the majority from Toronto and Peel here in Ontario. Now, these numbers come as 5 more regions move from their current level in the classification system today. The province also reporting 24 more deaths. Toronto saw an increase of 453 cases, Peel 503. Windsor-Essex is now in the red zone after seeing a rise in cases over the last few weeks. That's one level below a full lockdown. Haldimand Norfolk has moved to the orange level, and 3 other regions are now in yellow. We'll break down all the numbers and data from yesterday's report coming up at 6:45. The federal government will release the long-awaited fall economic update this morning. Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland is expected to deliver the statement after the markets close. Business and labor groups want to see a detailed plan on navigating the fallout, including post-pandemic programs. Some critics say the only way to keep moving forward is to keep people working. Conservative leader Erin O'Toole also says to make that happen, the Liberals need a better plan to roll out vaccines and step up the distribution of rapid tests. Ottawa is once again extending restrictions for travelers entering our country. Only Canadian citizens, permanent residents, or people coming from the U.S. for essential reasons will be allowed into Canada until at least January 21st. For visitors wanting to come here for non-essential travel reasons are being turned away. Those coming into the country will also have to self-isolate for 14 days. Meantime, crossing the U.S. border by land remains restricted, and those measures could be extended past the current December 21st deadline. Both have seen extensions since the pandemic began in March. Cyber Monday is expected to be much easier to navigate this year after a relatively quiet Black Friday due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But after inspecting hundreds of locations, 16 tickets were issued in York Region this weekend.
At the end of the day, there was a strong message to the businesses: you better control the number of people coming through that front door.
York remains in the province's red zone, one short of full lockdown. A COVID-19 task force was created to step up enforcement during Black Friday, targeting businesses breaking the rules. Vaughan Mills Shopping Centre was hit the hardest, with 4 of its stores failing to follow the rules. Week 4 of the Toronto van attack trial set to resume this morning, with the last witness for the defense to testify. Dr. Alexander Westphal is expected to testify that Alex Manassian is not criminally responsible for his actions. The 28-year-old has admitted to killing 10 people and injuring 16 others while driving a van on Yonge Street sidewalks on April 23, 2018. But he has pleaded not guilty. Today's testimony is expected to be very controversial. Coming up at 7:30 on Breakfast Television, we'll be speaking with City News reporter Adrian Gobriel. He's been following this case very closely. We'll expect to see President-elect Joe Biden in a special boot for the next several weeks. Biden fractured his foot on Saturday while playing with one of his dogs. Doctors in Delaware found 2 small hairline fractures, which means the president-elect will need a walking boot for several weeks. Biden is set to receive his first daily presidential briefing today. The 78-year-old will be sworn into office come January.